we know that Republicans believe a lot of crazy things about the pandemic, but it's not always clear why they started believing these specific crazy things. But we have another pandemic throwback for you. And in this, Tucker Carlson and Brit Hume are gonna talk about the elevated death count. Now, remember, this is a couple of weeks, we're gonna be showing you for April 7th, 2020, a couple of weeks into the pandemic, the American version where we had some lockdowns. We still had relatively low deaths there. And they were already claiming that the number was fake. So you're gonna see one of the earliest claims about that. And then remember, it just continued for a full year, leading to a significant chunk of all Republicans across the country thinking that the insanely high number now is in fact fake. But here is that early video.
We had it, so we missed those, and they should be in the coronavirus death count and so on. But there's another side to this. Dr. Birx said tonight during the briefing at the White House that all deaths from anyone who died with coronavirus is counted as if the person died from coronavirus. Now, we all know that isn't true. I remember my own doctor telling me at one point when I was discussing prostate issues, he said about prostate cancer, I didn't have it as it happened, but he said, a lot more people die with it than die from it. That's a real possibility that people who have this disease, particularly there are lots of people who are asymptomatic who may have other terrible diseases. And if everybody's being automatically classified, if they're found to have COVID-19 as a COVID-19 death, we're going to get a very large number of deaths that way, and we're probably not going to have an accurate count of what the real death total is.
And there may be reasons that people seek an inaccurate death count, but we can address that later. I really appreciate your clarity.
Yeah, I just don't think
Dr.
Birx and Fauci are doing that, but I think they were working on what they had.
I'm not accusing them of that at all.
Right.
No, but when journalists work.
Oh, it's delicious. It is exactly what we were talking about yesterday on the show. It is Tucker Carlson's cowardice perfectly demonstrated. And there may be some reasons some people want the numbers to be inflated. Oh no, I'm not accusing anybody in particular. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying it over and over and over again, so you believe it, but I'm not saying it in a way that can get me sued someday. I'm not saying anyone's doing it, I'm just saying people are doing it and it's totally fake and you totally shouldn't trust it, but I'm not saying anything. What a coward. Just do the Alex Jones thing. Just say it's made up. Actually own up to the conspiracies that you're spreading on TV right then.
Yeah, and what's interesting about their misunderstanding of how the numbers are counted, you will never get 100% accuracy as it relates to any set of data. You hope to get 90%, 85% complete accuracy, but it's the nature of data. So you have a decision to make, John, and the decision is, do you say, okay, this is not related to COVID, even though we really have some ambiguity here because of some other complications, or we can say, listen, this person has some other complications, but definitely COVID made their complications worse. And if it had not been, this is called the but-for qualifier.
Yeah.
If it was not but for them having COVID, they would likely be alive today. And that was the premise utilized by healthcare professionals. It was the but-for method, the but-for qualifier. And yes, that number is a high number. And here's what they can't debate, John. They can't debate that the number isn't extreme. So they may say, oh, it's not 500,000. Okay, well, what is it, 400,000, 300,000? Whatever it is, it's too damn high. And people are dying more so by this than they died in major world wars. That should be a problem.
Indisputable, just like your show.
Just like the show.
Yeah, but no, it's probably just like the flu though. Yeah. And by the way, like one of the convenient things for them about having this be the debate that was going on is we're debating things that might be making the number seem too high, but we already know there's tons of stuff that's making the number lower than it actually is. The excess death count from the early months of the pandemic, we covered that at the time. And we can never know for sure how many of those people died from COVID, but a ton of extra people were dying alone at their homes. It wasn't from like a suspiciously timed uptick in throat cancer.
Right.
It was during a pandemic, during the early months of it, but they weren't talking about that. So they like to pretend that this is just about accurate mathematics. That's all we care about. Then why are you only talking about one side of this? And the side that you have less data on?
Yeah, they do this routinely, and you're right. There were a lot of people, especially in Black and brown communities, brother, that died from COVID-19 and it never got recorded that it was actually a COVID-19 death. But this is something routine in the Republican playbook. What they would do is try to make a thing that's not a thing, the thing to talk about. It's kind of like Matt Gaetz saying that he's being extorted, when the whole thing is not about extortion. The whole thing is about the fact he's under investigation for trafficking a minor. That's what this is about. Right? Even if he was extorted. Well, it sounds like if you were extorted, it's because there's some there, but that's not why the investigation started.
Yeah. By the way, this is a rough analogy, but Real Burner on Twitch says, did Jesus die with or from cross? Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess he didn't die of the cross, but it was important.
It was important. There you go.
Yes.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.